Right, well, I managed to get another short bit of time down the woods again to do a little bit of filming outside, and the video is going to be about camouflaging trap triggers. Now what I've done is I've over exaggerated it and then kind of camouflaged it, because to be honest, if you're making a trap trigger out of wood with bark on, it's probably best to keep the bark on it, and that'll camouflage it itself. So I've used sticks which I've debarked and kind of shown you how you can do it. Now I didn't go into like covering your scent and all that, because that's a little bit of a, not a debative subject, but you know what I mean, kind of like some people say everything's got to be covered from scent, and some people say no it doesn't. Like some people say you've got to especially cover your scent on anything to do with catching like foxes and wolves and stuff like that. But we're not going to do that in the UK. We're not wolves anyway. And I think they might say the same about cats and stuff. Like if you're in a country with big cats, pumas and stuff, and you need to cover your scent. But from my experience, now I used to catch quite a lot of squirrels and rabbits in cages, and I never ever covered my scent or did anything to them. Nothing at all. And I don't think it matters so much with rabbits, squirrels and things like birds, pheasants and that. You haven't necessarily got to cover your scent so much. But I was also thinking about camouflaging your traps from people as well. So if you was, say you was prepping, bugging out, you might need to set traps, and you don't want people seeing them, you know, smashing them up or knowing you're around. So knowing how to camouflage your traps would be good as well, for that kind of respect. In a true survival situation where you want to be found, not so much the case, but still it might help if you camouflage your trap for the animal to go into it. So we'll go over now into the next part of the video, and then I'll show you that. Like that, the trap trigger stands out loads. So the way you could disguise that is by rubbing dirt in it all over the sticks, or if you had sticks that weren't so bright and it still had bark on, leave the bark on them. So leave the bark on, or if you end up with white sticks like that, then rub dirt in them. You can always place moss around it as well. See now with the moss and the mud on the sticks, it's a little bit harder to see. If you had proper wet mud, you could probably cake these entirely in mud, but this mud was a bit dry, so just stained them a little bit. It's definitely not as bright. Right, so that's one way you can cover up like a trap trigger, rubbing mud on it, and I suppose the mud would cover some of the scent as well if you're using mud from the same area. What I found was it would have been better if I'd have had like wet mud, because that mud, it was slightly damp but it wasn't wet enough to really cover it. If you could really cover it, you could really get them dark coloured. And like I said, if you had bark on your sticks, you'd only need to cover the cut ends. And also I know a lot of people, I do it as well, if I cut anything out in the woods, so I cut a branch off or something, so I cut a dead tree down, I'd cover the stump in earth as well, so people can't spot it and see it so well. Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Can't really think of nothing else to do with that, but that's a way you can camouflage some trap triggers. Anyway, cheers for watching. I'll see you later.